and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I am your host, Sam Randazzo. Sorry, I was staring at the TikTok on my computer. Didn't realize what was going on there. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving out there. To our lucky viewers who won tickets to the game. Hope you guys had a great time. Shout out to Vinny. He posted pretty much every step of the way. Shout out to him. Looks like he enjoyed himself yesterday. Thanks for joining us on Black Friday. I know a lot of people are doing their shopping and eating some leftovers and all that good stuff, but glad you made time for us today.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I don't have my computer, so the chat's on my phone.
To my left, none other than our very own Mr. Zola, Mike Pelzola.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
And happy birthday, Carl.
For a minute.
Oh, happy birthday. Shout out to Carl G. Shout out to Third. Happy birthday, bud. Happy birthday. We got something special coming for you from the Tip Balls Podcast. We do.
Do we?
We got something special coming for him. Probably be in next week. Gonna love it. Behind the computer, making us sound halfway decent. Working off a hangover where he
You don't got to get into detail.
heckled Shabuzi and then coated himself in his own goo. It's Bruce the Tugboat Venditti.
Hello.
Zolo, how was your Thanksgiving? High points, low points, food high points, any food low points, desserts. I want to hear about it all.
Yeah. So we, my brother and I took my niece Catherine, she's 4, to the game yesterday. And my brother usually comes with me on Thanksgiving. It's just a tradition because we used to do it with my dad. And he usually doesn't come with me to any other games unless they're good. So now he always asks to go to games. But anyways, brother switched in for Sarah yesterday. We took his middle daughter, Catherine, who's about yay high. But she's also 4. But she looks like she's 2. So we snuck her in. And we sat in my parking structure and slammed some high noons. It was pretty fun. They also have, I'm not a beer guy, but every year around Thanksgiving, Goose Island Brewery, are you familiar with them in Chicago?
Yep.
They come out with their Bourbon County, it's called. They have a bourbon barrel-aged stout, and it was like the premier bourbon barrel-aged stout. They have it at the Lions game every year on Thanksgiving. So we go and get that for a little like 6-ounce pour. It's almost like a shot glass. It's like yay big.
Like a tulip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like $20 for a pour.
Oh, that's cute.
So we went through like 4 of those. Game was good. Vibes are good. They won. Could have lost. I knew it would be close. It was.
Much closer than I thought. That's for sure.
Then, immediately trekked to Shelby. And this year we did a little curveball. My aunt, who always cooks everything, she bought turkey breasts instead of making the full turkey.
So you're not the only one that's done that.
They hit.
Did they?
It was better than any turkey in recent memory. I like the fat and the skin too. Like there's no skin I'm not in. That's my model. So the skin was on there. A lot of curveballs. We had mac and cheese, which we never have. She made mac and cheese. It was good. Skipped mashed potatoes in lieu of scalloped potatoes.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there's a few curveballs. The ham hit. Yeah, no, it was good. It was nice. And then last night, like everything was going well. I'm going against Tua in my 2-quarterback league, and everything was going well. And then all of a sudden, Tua had 2 fourth-quarter garbage time touchdowns. So I'm in a dogfight, and I need to win this week to like cement the playoffs in that league. And there's like good money just for making the playoffs in that league. So that's it. I didn't do shit. Desserts? I don't even have any desserts.
There's no room.
No.
You're tapped.
Yeah, I was tired.
Yeah, I hear you.
I was tired. I had a cookie.
There you go.
Yeah,
Chocolate chip action.
it was.
Bruce, how's your Thanksgiving? High points, low points, pits, peaks. Talk about the game. Tell us what you ate. All the above. Show your face. They want to see you.
Didn't eat anything. Was hammered. That's about it. Don't remember the game.
You didn't eat any Thanksgiving dinner.
I did. I had some ham.
You had ham. You didn't have any bird.
Nope,
You
no
didn't.
bird,
You didn't have.
ham, had a dog before the game, and that's it.
That's it.
In my system,
How many beers?
probably around 14, 15.
The people want to see you.
I'm currently doing some stuff here.
Oh, excuse me. Bruce is too busy for us today.
I'm doing the picks. I'm sorry.
Apologies. Bruce is too busy for us
Yeah,
today.
you're gonna have to do the picks.
I had a wonderful Thanksgiving, if anybody cares. I had 2 dinners. Threw down mac and cheese at both. Threw down bird meat at both. Actually, there was a curveball. My second one, the sweet potatoes were done with pineapple. There's chunked pineapple in the sweet potatoes. It was very interesting. It was top tier.
Was that at Arab Thanksgiving?
Yes, both Thanksgivings. My parents decided to skip Thanksgiving this year and have pub subs in Florida.
Oh, sounds good.
I know,
Do
right?
they build their own or do they go out on menu?
They went Wednesday evening, built their own, and saved them for lunch, and then took some take-home tendies from Publix for Thanksgiving dinner.
And they don't go to the Publix like in downtown.
Not on
Marco.
Collier.
Yeah,
No,
on
you go to the
Collier.
back.
There's a back
You
end.
go to the back. You go to the back Publix.
I like that Collier Publix.
You like the Collier one?
Yeah.
See, they redid the Barfield one,
Okay.
and it's like a mega Publix now. But yeah, so I had 2 Arab Thanksgivings, both of which were fantastic. Great desserts. Had some banana pudding, some carrot cake. The first one, we had something called Thanksgiving crack. And it's essentially, like puppy chow,
Okay.
but done with like a maple butter,
Oh.
cinnamony.
Did you guys make that?
No,
Who made
no,
it?
Diana. Damn. It was fire. That was absolutely, that might have been the high point of the whole day. Was that?
Start Pickens or Kieran Williams at the flex? Kieran Williams.
I'm going Kieran Williams,
Kieran
100%. We had another question in, I believe it was in the YouTube chat, Burrow or Mahomes this week.
Oh man.
I think you've got to ride Burrow right now just because he's good for 30 a week.
Yeah. Who do they play? Pittsburgh.
They play Pittsburgh, which,
And they're off the bye too. Bengals are off the bye.
and shockingly, Cincinnati's a favorite in that game.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Cincy's
They're
the
playing.
favorite.
Cincinnati's playing well, even though they lose everything.
So I'm going Burrow in that game, 100%.
Someone said Bills clinch in the East. Yeah, they are, but it's because their division's atrocious.
Hold on, I think with a Miami loss last night, or do they have to win still?
I think they have to win. If not, they'll just get it next week.
Yeah, but they're a win away.
I'll let you take this one. Abdullah or Adams?
Abdullah or Devontae Adams. If it was up to me, because that is a question at this point. Do we have a status on Mattinson yet? Because that game is only an hour away. Hold on, let me double check.
Yeah, you should have game designations by now.
If Mattinson's not, Alexander Mattinson's still questionable.
There's no game. The game's at 3:00. There has to be game designations. Like they have to be. The inactives have to be out by now.
Let me double check this. But if Mattinson's out, then I'm rolling Abdullah. Mattinson is out.
Bowers, Kelsey, Cortland Sutton, start 2, bench 1. I'm starting Bowers.
I am starting Bowers and Kelsey.
I'm starting. Yeah, you're probably starting the 2. No, Cortland Sutton's supposed to pop off this week. So maybe if the Chiefs' defense is as good as it should be and as good as we think it is, then I would go Kelsey and Sutton. I think Travis Kelsey's due to go off.
Okay, I have $1 million question here.
Yeah.
Do I start Jordan Addison or Amir Abdullah in my flex?
Who do the Vikings play?
Vikings have Arizona.
Jordan Addison.
Oof.
Ride the hot hand.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to ride that hot hand.
Burrow or Mahomes? Burrow. I thought we already answered.
Yeah, without question, I'm going Burrow. This is the thing, and we'll talk about this game real quick because it's only an hour away, and then we'll go into yesterday and then finish up with the weekend. I know that the Chiefs are going to win this game. Chiefs are a 13.5-point favorite. Over-unders 41.5. And I'm confident in the fact that the Chiefs are going to win this game. But I said it last week against Carolina that Carolina was going to cover the 10.5. I truly, in my heart of hearts, think that the Raiders are going to cover the 13.5. And that's even with Desmond Ridder as the quarterback. He's had a week to prepare for this now. I don't think the Chiefs are going to win this game.
It's Desmond. I think it's Aiden O'Connell. In fact, I promise you.
Actually, yes, it is Aiden O'Connell. Yeah, even better. With O'Connell starting, I think that
he knows
Raiders
the
cover.
offense better.
Yeah, the Raiders are covering that 13.5 in a heartbeat.
Mahomes or Richardson? Mahomes. Sutton or Cook? I assume you're talking about James Cook. Cortland Sutton's one of the hottest players in the league, and he gets a touchdown every week. I'll say this much: I think the Bills are going to and the Niners are going to be running the hell out of the ball on Sunday because of the snow game.
I agree.
So you can consider James Cook.
They're saying 5 feet of snow in Buffalo before Sunday.
At some point, I want you guys' take on this, especially with Uncle Sam gone, because we can take advantage of it. I don't like the argument of, oh, that's football, when you're talking about the weather affecting games.
Correct. I agree.
I want to see, and I think it's going to show in the upcoming college football playoff because the Big Ten is going to host a ton of these games. You're going to have Georgia and these SEC schools coming to play the Big Ten teams outdoors in the cold in December and in January. I want to see games this time of year in playoff games. I want to see the teams at their best, and I don't want the weather affecting a game. Well, this team's built better for the weather. No. Don't want to see that. I want to see these teams at their best and to not be affected by any outside elements. If it was up to me, there'd be no injuries. So you could see the teams always at their best, but certainly not the weather. And come on, do you really want to see the Bills and you want to see that Niners offense go in the cold and in 10 feet of snow and then call that a real game? Well, they beat them when it snowed, you know?
Look at last night.
Yeah.
Miami, you've seen it time and time again. Miami is not a team built to play in the cold. And we saw that last night. They turn into a shell of themselves every time it gets cold. If it was me, there should be one stadium that stays open, and that's Green Bay.
Green Bay, that's it.
Everything else, if they put a dome in, I don't give a shit. You want to do it in Buffalo would hate it. Buffalo might be on the borderline of you need to keep it open. But they have the worst weather out of any team probably in the country.
Real quick, Mahomes or Stroud? I think we're Mahomes.
I'm going Mahomes.
And then Ingram or Njoku? I think it's Njoku personally. Who does Jacksonville play?
That's really a toss-up for me, but I like Njoku a lot too.
Ingram's going to depend on – you're not starting Ingram unless it's –
Ingram's against Houston.
Maybe.
I kind of like that.
Houston's been playing well against tight ends, though. But Ingram –
Do you like Njoku against Denver better than –
Yeah, because he's getting the targets. Jameis loves him.
You're right.
That's the thing. The only thing with Ingram – I'll defer to Ingram because he's the better player, number one. Number two, if – Trevor Lawrence starts that game, I think that boosts everyone, and Trevor Lawrence also likes Ingram. That's where I would do Ingram. Thoughts on Thomas Brown?
I don't know who that is.
Yep, neither do I.
Thoughts on Jeremy McNichols, and would you start him over James Conner?
He's supposed to be a low-key play this week. I'm probably not starting him over James Conner. James Conner's the Vikings.
Correct.
McNichols is actually supposed to be a good plug-and-play this week, especially because of how good the Commanders run the ball. So you can actually consider McNichols. But
is Washington playing?
Washington is playing.
Tennessee. Ooh.
Yeah.
That one's probably a toss-up, too. Thomas Brown is the new Bears coach. Oh, that must have been
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So he's the guy went from passing game coordinator a month ago to 2 weeks ago, offensive coordinator to head coach. We will get to Eberflus and the Bears.
Yeah, give us a minute on that.
Sorry for being ignorant on that one.
Debo or Scantling?
Debo. No.
Debo
Snow game.
Buffalo.
Snow game.
So you're going Scantling against...
MVS has been on fire, remember, before the bye.
Yeah.
Remember that. He's been very good. And the only place the Rams are weak defensively, in my opinion, is their secondary.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. Baker versus Carolina or Herbert versus Atlanta?
Baker versus Carolina or Herbert versus Atlanta?
Those divisional games are really when you start to see Tampa pop off.
Yeah.
I think I would go Baker against
And
Carolina.
Tampa's in it. And honestly, Baker has been a sure thing all year. And it's not that Herbert hasn't. He's gotten better over the last couple weeks. I just think the better matchup is Baker against Carolina. Thoughts on can I trust McCaffrey? Playing good this week? Let me tell you why I would go all in on McCaffrey this week.
I agree.
They're going to be handing the ball off if there's 10 feet of snow.
McCaffrey's going to get 30 carries.
He's gonna get the reps this week. So yes, you can.
Is this Allen Mahomes? Allen Mahomes? Is that Allen or Mahomes? If it is, if you have Josh Allen, there's nobody else that you're considering starting.
Yeah, especially this week.
Especially if you get them in Buffalo in the snow with San Francisco's suspect defense, without question, you're going Josh Allen. Flex one, Bucky Irving or Pittman? Bucky
Irving this week.
Against
Bucky
Carolina.
Irving is a lock this week. He's supposed to pop off. And we talked about this. I don't know if you saw on Monday or Wednesday. We talked about this. Bucky Irving is now out snapping Rashad White.
Yep.
So
Bucky all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping back to yesterday real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What were your... I don't think we need 5 things out of that performance.
AJO says, okay, you're not worried about snow wind games. He's the one that asked about Allen or Mahomes. Josh Allen in the snow running the ball. What's not to like? If you're starting Josh Allen right now, a lot of his reps come from the fact that he's running the ball.
My better question is, do you have 5 things?
No, we're the Lions are too good for 5 things at this point in time. Like, there's only so much we can say. No 5 things. I'll tell you the things that I loved, and then there was a lot that I didn't like. Number one, I mentioned it Wednesday. I knew this game would be close. I knew 9.5 was a lot of points. The Bears have been on fire. I want your thoughts, sans the end of the game, because Caleb Williams does deserve most of the blame for what happened at the end. Sans the end of the game, is anybody ready to admit that Caleb Williams is the real deal yet? Can you see it?
I see glimmers of it. Like I can see him. He's going to have a very nice and successful NFL career. Do I think he's going to? You want to know what I see out of Caleb Williams? I see Jordan Love.
I don't know. I see, compared to Jordan Love, like if we're just breaking down that comparison, I think Caleb Williams is a significantly more accurate passer. I think he's getting throws into tight windows. And what I've liked about with Waldron gone is they're allowing him to make plays with his legs. Like, I watched him make so many plays on the fly yesterday and so many nice throws off his back foot. And that's what made him at USC. And that's also what gives him the comp to Mahomes, is the way he plays when he starts to scramble. Not necessarily a running quarterback, but when the protection breaks down and his first check down isn't available, like, he can improvise. They're giving him the freedom to do that. Whereas Jordan Love, I just see like raw cannon. If his other guy isn't open, he's going to try and throw it to the next guy and make a play on his own.
Caleb Williams desperately needs a head coach. Desperately needs a head coach. Because you're going to have the Bears more likely than not. I think the Bears, unless they get one of the 2 Lions offensive coordinators, they're probably going to hire the wrong guy, because that's what the Bears do. And I don't think you'll get the best that you want out of Caleb Williams if you have somebody who doesn't know how to deal with him properly. Like,
and you just answered a major question, by the way. The head coach has to be an offensive-minded head coach.
It has to be. They have to go after Brad Johnson and sell the house. I don't think he takes that job.
I don't think Ben Johnson takes the job.
I don't think he takes
the job. I just don't. I think the loyalty to Detroit means he's not going to go lead within the division, even though there were rumors that he was about to take it last year. Don't see it happening. The first name that comes to mind, pull up some odds for next Bears head coach while we're talking. Someone that sticks out to me is Cliff Kingsbury. Go get Cliff Kingsbury and have him, just like he did for Jaden Daniels at the beginning of the year as the Commanders' offensive coordinator. He worked with Caleb Williams at USC. So go get him to unlock Caleb Williams and then pair him with an elite defensive coordinator. Go get Eric Bieniemy, who's UCLA's offensive coordinator right now, and done a good job this year with Dante Moore from Detroit. What are the odds?
If you had to guess who's number 1 in odds.
Ben Johnson.
No.
Not Aaron Glenn.
What would be the most Bears hire?
What would be the most Bears hire? A defensive guy. Belichick?
No. Joe Brady.
Joe Brady's great, but I don't think he's a head coach.
It's the wrong guy.
I don't think he's a head coach.
It's the wrong guy. He's the number 1 right now.
So Joe Brady, do you know Joe Brady's full background before he got to Buffalo?
And then
Carolina?
The interim is number 2, Thomas Brown.
Okay.
And then
going.
Ben Johnson's 3.
Are there any other names though? I need a composite.
Aaron Glenn.
No, I need names.
Liam Cohen.
I need people I'm not thinking of. Liam Cohen makes sense.
Who is Liam Cohen?
Liam Cohen is the Bucs offensive coordinator, and he was brought over. Liam Cohen came with Dave Canales from. Liam Cohen came over with Dave Canales from Seattle.
This list is so bad.
Keep going.
So Brady, Johnson, Brown, Glenn, Cohen, Kellen Moore.
Bad.
Mike Vrabel,
and then who do you get to run the offense? Because the problem is, like, Bears defense, 85 Bears, all those guys, Mike Singletary, all them. The problem is you need a guy at some point to groom one of these quarterbacks, and that's something I told you before the show. So the Bears now have drafted 3 quarterbacks in the first round over the last 10 years. The first one was Mitch Trubisky, right? And Trubisky was John Fox was who inherited Trubisky. John Fox was there for a year. And sorry, I just want to get the timestamp of this rant that I'm going on right now. But what's the timestamp say on YouTube? How many minutes?
We're at 22. The other names, just to keep going, Josh McCown.
No.
Uh,
I think Josh McCown's coaching high school football.
Brian Flores.
Who do you get to
Again.
run? Great option. Same with Vrabel. Who do you get to run the offense?
They're going to mess this up. The Bears will inevitably mess this up. And you want to know something? And I know a lot of people were giving Caleb Williams a lot of the flack at the end of that game. You're the head coach. Call the timeout. It's simple. And I'm sitting there staring at the TV. I'm like, what are you doing? Call the timeout. You get to take the shot. You have enough time. There's 31 seconds left or whatever.
It's on it. Listen, Caleb Williams deserves a lot of the blame, but agreed. The head coach should know, like, that's my rookie quarterback. And apparently there were some checkdowns he didn't know about. Like, Caleb Williams, he checked to the Hail Mary on that last play. But, like, yeah, that's why you call the timeout.
Right.
You can install 3 plays on the timeout.
It was 3rd and 26. You're 4 yards out of quote-unquote field goal range. Don't you at least take a shot at the end zone and then at least give the kicker a chance? It was terribly mismanaged, and I said as soon as that game ended that was Eberflus's. That was it. He was done. He was done after that. Let's jump back to TikTok real quick here.
I want to do a Bears head coach rant afterwards too.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't listen to you guys and started Tyreek. Shaking my head. Yeah,
You had a garbage time touchdown. Oh no, wait, you didn't listen to us by not starting Tyreek?
I don't know why I didn't listen to you guys and started Tyreek. I didn't like Tyreek this week.
He had a touchdown at the end.
Yeah.
I know because it put me in a very bad position.
Is Pacheco a start? Yes, I think without
Yeah,
question,
your
Pacheco's a start
They
today.
they're never the Chiefs are never shy about guys they just acquired or guys coming back from injury. Like Andy Reid's never shy. He said it earlier this year. DeAndre Hopkins like, well, we have him. Why wouldn't we start him?
Agree.
So
Start Pacheco or Chuba. I'm still going to roll
Hubbard.
Chuba this week.
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba's hot as shit right now. They just had to get into field goal range. I get that. The Bears just needed a few more. Realistically, I'm sorry. If you need to tie the game, all right, call the timeout, take your shot at the end zone, try for the win. If it doesn't work, you were 3 yards out of your projected field goal range. Try it. Try it. If you're going to lose, at least lose in a way where it looked like you were trying to win the game, not letting the clock run out.
Real quick,
Go.
Juwan Jennings or Jacoby Myers? Myers just because of the weather. And honestly, I don't love how the secondary's played for the Chiefs this year.
Agree, and because Jacoby Myers is the only wide receiver that they have.
We did Pacheco and Chuba. Did we do this Hunter Henry or Noah Gray? Did we do that?
No.
Hunter Henry, without question, has been a monster.
Noah Gray's been hot, though.
Yeah, it's got to stop at some
I
point.
agree.
You got Travis Kelce. It's got to stop at some point.
I would go Hunter Henry. He's the number 1 receiving target.
So, real quick on the Bears.
One more, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Is it
please.
time to trade CMC, or should I save him for the playoffs? You hold CMC.
Yeah, at this point, why would you trade him? Unless you get some crazy haul that's going to help you in the playoffs. Like,
Correct.
I don't know why you're trading.
You have to get it. You have to get a 2-for-1, and the 2-for-1 has to be 2 top 10 guys.
Real quick on the Bears. So this is why they need an offensive-minded head coach to come in. They had John Fox, who took the Denver Broncos to a Super Bowl. John Fox is a defensive-minded head coach. He was actually here, too, consulting for a little bit. He was consulting for the Lions. Defensive-minded head coach. I don't remember who his quarterback was off the rip, but then they drafted Mitch Trubisky. They put him in too early. A year after drafting Mitch Trubisky, they fired John Fox, okay? And then they brought in Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy had a major influence on what the Chiefs were doing early on in Mahomes' career, was considered this brainchild of running the current best offensive scheme. Eventually, Nagy runs Mitch Trubisky out of town because he wasn't that good to begin with. And then they bring in Justin Fields. They drafted Justin Fields at 10 or 11 overall, whatever it was. They draft Justin Fields. A year after drafting Justin Fields, they run Matt Nagy out of town, okay? So you're sensing a trend here. They draft a rookie quarterback in the first round. A year later, the head coach is gone. This time around, They bring in Matt Eberflus to replace Matt Nagy. He's got Justin Fields for a couple years. Eventually moves on from him this year. They draft Caleb Williams. Remember, Eberflus should have been fired last year. They draft Caleb Williams, right? And by the way, this is also Matt Nagy was an offensive head coach, but this is now another defensive-minded head coach in Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus is here less than a year after drafting a rookie quarterback, and they fire that head coach. So it's an organizational thing, and that's why they needed to do it last year. They brought in a lame duck head coach thinking he could get this right. They didn't do enough at offensive coordinator. They brought in a really bad offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron, who took the fall earlier this year. It's imperative that they don't bungle Caleb Williams' development because Caleb Williams is very good. He is very good. Like that was one of my major takeaways from the game yesterday. I was like, this kid actually is the real deal. This is the second half Caleb Williams yesterday is the Caleb Williams I saw at USC the last 2 years that won the Heisman. I was floored. He made Keenan Allen look good. He made DJ Moore look really good in the second half. He embarrassed the Lions defense after not giving up a first down in the first half. I'm impressed. You have something in Caleb Williams. You need to build around him. The GM did as best as he could. The GM isn't an owner of the team and isn't president of football operations. He did as best as he could with getting pass catchers to come in. He brought in Keenan Allen. He drafted Rome Odunze. But you need more. You need an offensive-minded head coach. You need to start investing in the offensive line, right? And that's what's going to bring the Bears forward. I don't think the Bears are as hopeless as they've been. It's just a dumpster fire. It's just a poorly run organization. Don't run it poorly anymore. That's what the Lions did. The Lions eventually got their stuff together, and boom, it's worked out. So you need to start making the right decisions. The first right decision you can make is to be aggressive as hell to bring in a really stout offensive-minded head coach. I'm done.
I agree, but what do you think the likelihood that they don't bungle it is?
I mean, I'm going to bank on them bungling it.
Correct.
Their sons. They've already changed owners. Like it used to be the other McCaskey brother. I can't remember his name. And then they're now the other brother had to come in. By the way, the mother's 102 years old, Virginia McCaskey, George Hallis's daughter, and she's still existing, going to church 3 times a day. They already bungled. They like who's the new voice, right? Do the McCaskies have any kids? Because they've already flipped brothers, so there's already stale leadership going on. The Lions at least pivoted to Sheila Hamp after a long line of blowing through people in the Ford family. And that's when it started to work. So, yeah, honestly, I could see a scenario where they blow this again. I could see a scenario. I think this is a desirable job. I think this defense is really good. You bring in a really good D coordinator to pick up the pieces of what Eberflus has because the personnel is all there. And then you have that offensive-minded head coach. I think this is a totally, redeemable job. They're getting a new building. There's a lot to like about Chicago. It's a great sports market, great football market, but they have work to do on that front.
A lot of work to do. Is CD still a start, or should I put someone like CMC or T over him at the flex? Let's talk about that game real quick. So CeeDee Lamb pretty much sat out the whole second half of that game with no injury designation.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably because they figured they had it in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants weren't going to do anything.
He looked injured, though. Wasn't there something up with his shoulder?
He got banged up at some point, but they never came out and said anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why everybody, including the commentary, was kind of confused. I'll be honest. I think right now I would start T. Higgins over CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously, I'm starting Christian McCaffrey over
T. Higgins after a week off as well. T. Higgins was good against the Chargers. He had a great game against the Chargers. So T. Higgins after a week off, yeah, I am starting him over CeeDee Lamb.
And we'll talk about that. We're going to pick all the Sunday games, but I really like Cincinnati this week. I like T. Higgins this week, so I would bank on that for next week. Are you taking Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, or DK Metcalf?
Aaron Jones.
I think I'm going to roll Aaron Jones too. I mean, the guy's been hot. Minnesota keeps winning football games, mostly with him. I'm going to roll with that hot hand. Okay. Anything else that you took away from?
We'll go back to the Lions real quick because, I mean, obviously, so Eberflus is fired, deserved it, should have been fired weeks ago. People panicking about the injuries defensively. I am starting to panic a little bit.
I have a list here.
Yeah, run it.
So Aiden Hutchinson, obviously, Anzalone, John Kaminsky.
You get Anzalone back. You could get Kaminsky back. Go ahead. Rakestraw can come off of IR. The Lions have you have 8 IR spots, right? Or excuse me, you can bring 8 people off of IR. They've used 3, and then you get an additional 2 in the playoffs. So there's a list of guys on IR right now that we will see again. Rakestraw is one of those guys. Derek Barnes, we don't know. He's acting like he's going to come back. I think it's too long term. I don't think we see him this year. Marcus Davenport's done for the year. Melifonwu should be back later in the year. He just had a setback when he was rehabbing.
I don't know who Kyle Pecco is.
Kyle Pecco is the DT that was playing well, but you're deep there at this point.
Reeves Maben.
It's the only position group that's survived. Reeves Maben, he's going to have to come back. They're short at linebacker, so he's slated to come back eventually. He hasn't been designated, like his window hasn't started, but you're going to see Jalen Reeves Maben at some point.
And Malcolm Rodriguez tore his ACL yesterday.
Tough,
so he's done.
Tough. And I want to say on Malcolm Rodriguez, like, so much has worked against him since he's been here. Like, he got thrown into the Lions' den as a rookie, became a fan favorite because of Hard Knocks. He actually played incredible his rookie year. And then they followed that up with giving Derek Barnes more playing time last year and this year, and then drafting a rookie linebacker in Jack Campbell. And Rodriguez only got in this year because Anzalone was banged up at the beginning of the year. Then you lost Derek Barnes. And then he was in for Anzalone again. And everything Malcolm Rodriguez has done, like, he embodies this team. He's grit. Everything he's done, like, he does everything. Last year he was playing fullback, he was on special teams, and he was playing defense. So it's actually a big loss, especially with Anzalone out. So I'm worried. I don't like it. They brought in David Long, obviously. They just brought in Quan Alexander today. They signed Quan Alexander.
I like that.
Yeah, and eventually you're going to see him. You're going to see him. I think this position group, it's played so well this year. Jack Campbell gets better every week. He was really good yesterday again. I think that the linebackers don't really concern me as much as losing these pass rushers. That does concern me. But that's a guy like who was the biggest force on the field yesterday, both sides of the ball.
I mean, it's hard to argue with the Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, before he got hurt, for me, though, afterward, the 2 best players were Zadarius Smith.
I agree.
And then Al-Quadin Muhammad, inshallah.
Muhammad was huge.
Inshallah, Al-Quadin Muhammad. He's probably your starting DN. It sounds like Pascal, nothing's long-term, and he's not going to go on IR. And they can't afford that because I actually saw the value of Josh Pascal in run defense.
Yep.
Game completely changed when you lost Josh Pascal defensively. That's when the Bears started opening it up. But Al-Quadin Muhammad played great. Zendarius Smith, you got your money's worth out of him in that one game alone. Like, you won the trade just yesterday. He had 9 pressures and 2 sacks. Like, so he's got a sack a game now since he's been here, since he's played here. Already looking good. But, yeah, I mean, I'm concerned about the pass rush, but then I've thought about it with the injuries. Number one, you're very likely getting back Taylor Decker for next week's game, which is outstanding.
That's huge.
Your offense is, for the most part, healthy right now. Like, your offensive line is healthy. Your running backs are both healthy. Your receivers outside of Khalif Raymond are all healthy. So that's good, and that's where your team flows through is your offense. And then defensively, like, ever since Hutchinson left, it's flown through the secondary.
Well, we actually had a question in YouTube from Lillian. Do you think that Hutch will be back for a late playoff run, or do you think that that's just...
There's no way to tell. There's no way to tell. It's not like we're not a doctor. Like, you'd have to be with Aiden Hutchinson every day to even have an opinion to register regarding that. Now, the time frame for the injury was 4 to 6 months. I told this story before. When Aiden Hutchinson was a sophomore at Michigan, he had a really bad fracture of his foot to the point where he almost medically retired. And what it led to was him coming back and rehabbing as hard as anyone's ever seen. He's a freak. He's a literal freak. And he came back the next year, brought Michigan to the college football playoff, and was a Heisman runner-up as a junior. So that guy, you never have to worry about him in the weight room. You never have to worry about him doing anything right to get his body in position to be better. It wouldn't shock me. It's just the time frame, right? Like, he has a plate in his leg. And he, like we saw 2 weeks ago, they posted videos of him walking in a pool. Like, if they can get to December with him walking, and then you know, I don't know what it's like at the end of December. Like, you have to go through January ramping up activities. If you see Aiden Hutchinson, it won't be until the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, and the Lions got to get there first. So, but yeah, like, I could see a scenario in the Super Bowl where it's the second week of February and Aiden Hutchinson's back. So I don't know. Right now, I wouldn't bank on it happening, and honestly, it doesn't matter because they still have one of the best defenses in the league without Aiden Hutchinson.
with or without him.
That's a rich get richer situation.
Anything else from the Lions game?
Last, just on the injuries, 10 seconds, I promise, because I've said so much. Carlton Davis is probably back next week. Your interior D-line, Reeder had his best game as a Lion yesterday. McNeil's still been great. You got Al-Qadim Muhammad, who's probably starting. Josh Pascal, if he takes this week off, that gives him 2 weeks to get ready for Buffalo, especially if it's not a long-term injury.
Thursday thing really sucks in this spot because those extra few days would help.
Yeah, but also you were in this position with injuries because it was a Sunday Thursday thing.
True.
So you're gonna get Taylor Decker and Carlton Davis likely back next Thursday with more rest, and then they'll have 10 days to get to the Bills game. The secondary's fine, especially if you get Carlton Davis back. Carlton Davis will be back. Terry and Arnold will be back. The two safeties will be there. The defense can piece it together. I wouldn't worry about them. Aaron Glenn's been a master all year. Don't fret. If they lose one of the next two, whatever, they could still win out hypothetically and be the 1 seed.
Agree.
So we'll be fine.
Any takeaways from the middle game, which was the Cowboys and the Giants? Cowboys came out on top by a touchdown.
Yeah.
After New York made a late push, scored 10 in the fourth quarter. Cowboys win 27-20. Is it just me, or even though it didn't look really good, that was the best the Giants' offense has looked in a minute with Drew Lock at the helm?
Yeah, it was better.
It was slightly better.
I don't think there's much more that can happen in the pass game. Love Tyrone Tracy, obviously.
Yep.
I'm the other way around. I think Cooper Rush is getting better.
I agree with
every
that.
single week.
100%.
Every single week.
Rico Dowdle had his first blow up game.
Good.
And that was a beautiful thing. 122 yards and touchdown for him. Malik Neighbors is still bitching. I don't know. I mean, how much longer does Brian Dable hold on to that job?
Maybe that's the perfect guy to go to Chicago. Is Brian Dable.
Might be right.
At least, at a minimum, if you want to bring in a Vrabel or a Flores or even Aaron Glenn, if you want to bring in one of those three guys and Dable gets fired, make him your first call and give him head coach money because that guy is a G. He's been an asset at every stop he's ever been at, Alabama, Buffalo. Maybe that's the guy to help with Caleb Williams. So if you're a Bears fan, maybe that's your dream scenario.
And Dallas, I mean, 1-2 straight. It's Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush.
Could you imagine a scenario where Dallas somehow scoots into the playoffs with Cooper Rush?
They'd have to win out, right?
Yeah.
Run it real quick.
Cincinnati,
Loss.
Carolina,
They should win that.
Tampa,
I think it's a loss.
Philadelphia,
Loss.
Washington again.
Something's got to give at some point. Oh no, they already beat them.
They beat
and
Washington
then
last
Washington depends on the Washington team.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give them the win. I'll give Dallas the win. But the 2 losses we already gave them puts them at 9 losses, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you can't get them at 9 losses.
Jumping to Sunday or Thursday night, it was Miami and Green Bay. Oh, I mean, Miami that was a must win, in my opinion, for them. That was a must win game if they wanted to continue to try and make something out of this year. They fall to Green Bay 30-17 in a very chilly Lambeau Field. Were you overly impressed with Green Bay in this win?
Yeah, not overly impressed, but that was a good win for them. I just want to know how much of it was a botched punt return in the first quarter, and then how much was it the Dolphins just being again outmastered in the cold, and then in the red zone, yeah. And then they gave up. The Packer defense gave up a lot in garbage time. I don't know, without being really well prepared, I don't know how much juju the Packer defense is going to have to stop the Lions offense next week.
I don't think they are.
I don't know if they have it. So if the Lions come out, they did it yesterday. They come out, they're like, if we win the coin toss, we're gonna want the ball. We're gonna control the game at the line of scrimmage. And it worked in the first half, right? The time of possession I think was 22-7. You know, it was 22 and some change to 7 and some change. I want to see Green Bay beat one of these two divisional teams, the Lions or the Vikings. That's what I want to see.
Correct.
They're 0-2 against both of them this year. And they were both at home, by the way. So they have to. They're road games.
I'm still not. I'm not sold on Green Bay. I'm not. I mean, the problem is, and I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't thought of this for a while, but I think Mike McDaniel's got to be pretty close to the hot seat now.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have Tua who's back and healthy and playing good football. 365 yards, 2 touchdowns yesterday, no mistakes. And Jonnu Smith is the leading receiver of this team still. Tyreek Hill, outside of the one tipped ball that was tipped up to him and he caught in the end zone.
Shout out tip balls.
Shout out to tip balls. Was pretty ineffective. They haven't been able to get a run game going at all. Their offensive line looks abysmal again. I don't know. I think at a certain point, some of this has got to start coming on McDaniel, which I have not wanted to say up until this point. But Green Bay, I still don't trust Green Bay. I still am not sold.
Back to McDaniel real quick. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like every time he's in one of these big games,
He dumps it.
yeah, he hasn't won a big game against a good team. It just feels like he hasn't done it. Like no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. I go back to Christmas Eve last year against Dallas. I go back to all these clutch games that he's needed against the Bills over the last 2 years. He hasn't done it. Last night, they needed that game really badly, and his team just felt like wasn't prepared. There wasn't a game plan, and I don't think the Packers are that much better. I think the Packers are better, and I think the Packers are a Super Bowl caliber team. I don't think they're that much better than the Dolphins. Excuse me.
Yeah, and if that game's played in Miami, it might be a little bit closer, but I still think the Packers win. Okay. Did you pick the game that starts in 33 minutes?
We all said the Chiefs, and then he flipped to the Raiders because we all picked the Chiefs.
Okay, I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win and the Raiders to cover. I think the Raiders cover the 13.5, and I'm gonna go over. Other than that, I don't know how much else there's to say on this game. I mean, 97% of the money is on Kansas City, so
Tough day for Vegas.
crazier things have
Black
happened.
Friday for Vegas.
Yeah. But no, the Chiefs will win that game, but the Raiders will. I truly think the Raiders will come. Right now, I'm pretty sure. I looked this the other day. The Chiefs and the line's moving. It just dropped to 12.5. But the Chiefs have only covered in like 2 games so far.
Yeah, they're like 2-9 or
They're
something.
2-9.
Yeah, something.
So
like
I'm
that.
going to take the Raiders to cover that. Aiden O'Connell. Now that O'Connell is playing, I feel great about that. Let's jump to Sunday. This should be a good one. Well, actually, you know what? I've said that about a lot of games that Atlanta's played so far this year, and they, for some reason, do not end up being good ones. But the Chargers are heading to Atlanta to play the Falcons. The Chargers are 1.5-point favorites. The over-under 47.5, which is nice and high. And I think I'm going to roll with the Chargers. Atlanta has done nothing to impress me. They've been inconsistent offensively. Their defense isn't a power, I would say. Kirk Cousins plays like Joe Montana one week and like Joey Harrington the next. I'm gonna roll with the Chargers here. They're gonna get a nice bounce back win after a loss to Baltimore. But I'm gonna take the over. The Dobbins thing is kind of worrying, but because I don't think he's playing, he's doubtful right now. But I think Gus Edwards can handle that load.
Yeah, Dobbins is out this week. I'm going to go with the Falcons reluctantly. I have a good reason. They need this. They're seeing what Tampa's doing. They've seen what they've done. Falcons are coming off of a bye.
Yes, they are.
And they're at home.
Yes, they are.
And the Chargers, who played Monday night,
Correct.
have to go across the country on short rests and in a holiday week. So for that reason, I think I'm going to give the defensive-minded head coach with the time to prepare. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. If they lose this one, and I love Jim Harbaugh and I love the Chargers, but if the Falcons lose this one, like it's going to be hard. It's like last year, like they just started losing games down the stretch. Completely different team, different regime, different quarterback. But if the Falcons lose this one, it's going to be hard to give them any trust going forward. Falcons to win.
Especially with Tampa Bay going into Carolina this week.
What's the spread?
It's 1.5.
Falcons to win, Falcons to cover, and then give me the over as well. I think there's going to be some points in this one.
Any props?
Drake London anytime.
I'm going with the Gus Edwards anytime. And then I want give me the Lad McConkey over on yardage, which is 66.5.
Boom.
Bruce?
Give me the Chargers and the over as well.
Chargers in the over. Bruce, you're rolling with me today, eh?
No.
You're rolling with me. Look at Bruce. Look at Bruce diligently typing back there all pink. Shout out to Bruce. Somebody get this guy a beer. Moving on. Indianapolis is heading to Gillette Stadium to play the Patriots. Indianapolis 2.5-point favorite. Over under 42.5.
Colts to win, Colts to cover. Give me the over, and I think this is a big game for Anthony Richardson. I think it's his coming out party because he's looked better every week. Of course, last week's different story going against the Lions defense. I like Richardson. I'm putting a lot of stock into him this week. If you can get him over 220 pass yards, do that.
I'm going to take New England here. I'm going to take New England to win. I'm going to take the under on the 42.5. Give me Drake May over 224 passing yards. And I love the DeMario Douglas anytime this week. I just think I'm not sold on the Colts. I think this is a game New England's going to win just to piss in some shoes. This one could go either way, though. But I really think New England pulls this one out. Bruce?
I'm going to take the Pats and the under.
Well.
Wow. Me and you are going to look so stupid for that. But we're on an
I
island.
took the under. So
We're on an island.
I might.
I took the under, too.
I thought you said the over.
No, I took the under. Huh? Bruce, get it together. Next up, we have a
divisional game.
The Houston Texans are heading to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars.
Trevor Lawrence's return.
Trevor Lawrence is returning. Jacksonville is a 3.5-point underdog. Over under 44.5.
Houston needs this one. You know what? You know who else needs this one?
Doug Peterson,
The
baby.
Jacksonville Jaguars off of some rest with Trevor Lawrence coming back.
And Houston has not looked that great.
No.
my
Jacksonville has the tools to beat Houston. That's what scares me about this game. Very reluctantly, I'm going to go with the Jags.
Wow.
Yeah, very reluctantly. They need this one. And crazier things have happened than this. It's not crazy picking them.
I'm going to go Houston. I'm going to go Houston in the over. And just think to myself that Houston needs a put-away game so badly. I'm going to parlay Mixon and Nico Collins anytime. And then with that said, I'm going to take Stroud over 263.5. And they just outscore Jacksonville in a duel. So give me Houston in the over. Bruce?
I'm going to go with Houston as well. And the over.
Wow. Me and Brucey Poo, 3 for 3 today. Across the board. Look at that. A little
I
dirt.
haven't been hot lately.
What?
I haven't been hot lately, so.
You got a dirty little stash going on right there. Dirty Sanchez. You got a little poo under your lip.
Good luck to you.
Love it.
Solo, did you take the over? Or the under?
Yeah, give me the over.
Yeah. Nice little poo. Little poo. Next up, we got the Seattle Seahawks heading to MetLife Stadium to play the Jets. Seattle, 1.5-point favorite. Over under 42.5.
This is a trap game for the Seahawks.
No, it's not.
I think it is because the Jets are coming off the bye. This is the healthiest Aaron Rodgers has been. But I'll take the Seahawks. Give me the Seahawks, Drake London anytime, and give me the over.
Drake London.
Or excuse me, Jackson Smith and Jigba anytime. It's been hitting. Let it ride.
Seattle over. Geno. No, not Geno. Give me Kenneth Walker over 59.5 on the ground. And I'm gonna co-sign the Jackson Smith and Jigba anytime. Bruce,
I just lost something here.
you want to pick the game so I can go to the
We
next
got
one?
bad things going on the Sheets thing. I'm going to take the Jets just because Uncle Sam's not here.
Oh, cute. You know he'd be all about the Jets. I'm gonna take the Jets and Braylon Allen over 100 yards.
The road to the NFC goes through New York.
Next up, we have a
Divisional game.
the Pittsburgh Steelers are heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Cincy, a 2.5-point favorite in this one over the first place Steelers. Are the Steelers still in first place?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Over the first place Steelers. Over under 47.5. Give me Cincinnati to win and cover. I'm going to take the over in this game. Very simple here. Burrow over 259 passing yards. Give me T. Higgins to hit his over. Give me Jamar Chase to hit his over. And give me a Jamar Chase anytime.
I'm going against him this week, and I need to win. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coming off of a loss, I just think they need this one. They have a long time to. Both these teams are coming off a long rest because the Bengals were on the bye, and the Steelers haven't played since last Thursday. So give me the Steelers to win. I'm gonna go with the under in this one. I think the Steelers are gonna turn this into one of those defensive rock fights, like they did to Baltimore a couple weeks ago. It's 3 straight divisional games for them.
Yes, it is.
And then give me George Pickens anytime.
Ooh. Next up, we've got the Tennessee Titans heading to Washington to play the Commanders. Washington, a 6.5 point favorite in this one. Over-under is 44.5. Give me the Commanders. I'm going to take the under. And give me a Jaden Daniels. Anytime rushing touchdown. I like that. And you know what? I'm going to throw Tony Pollard some love here because I haven't yet this year. Parlay the Daniels and Pollard one together.
I like the Commanders as well. I like the under as well. And give me Terry McLaurin anytime.
Ooh. Bruce. You got to pick 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Steelers in the over.
Bitch.
For this one, I'm gonna take the Commanders as well. And what is it?
It's
44 and a half.
44.5, bud. 44.5. Come on now.
I'll take the under as well.
Bruce, get it together. What are you doing?
Typing, man. Typing away.
Just typing away, eh?
Typing away.
All right, moving on. We've got the Arizona Cardinals heading to Minnesota to play the Vikings.
Minnesota.
Wait, hold on. Start 2. DeAndre Hopkins, Jennings, and DK. I'm going with DeAndre Hopkins and DK. I would avoid Jennings in the snow.
I would avoid Jennings in the snow.
And
as well.
Jennings' production has gone steadily further south over the last couple weeks. It looks better with Purdy playing. I don't like the snow. Go
Love
ahead.
DeAndre Hopkins in 20 minutes, and I enjoy DK this week as well.
Full PPR. Should I start Jawan Jennings, Devontae Adams, or Brian Thomas at flex? I have Brees at running back.
I would, honest to God, shout out to Doo Fart in the chat.
What up, doo fart?
I would go with Brian Thomas at flex. I like him better than. I do not like Devontae Adams. Let the record show. I don't like it.
Going forward.
Going forward, I do not like it. And the Jawan Jennings thing against Buffalo, I don't love it either. I would go Brian Thomas in a game that we think they could win against Houston. Who do I start for running backs? CMC, Bijan, Kyron, or Kareem Hunt? I'm gonna say
Kyron Williams.
Kyron Williams, CMC, and Bijan. I'm benching Kareem Hunt with Pacheco back. Do you agree?
Yeah.
You can't go wrong, bud. You can't go wrong. It can only get
No, it makes sense to bench Kareem Hunt. Kieran Williams is supposed to have a monster week this week, so I love him more than anyone you have. I like Christian McCaffrey in the snow. He's going to get a lot of touches, and Bijan's Bijan.
Hunter Pacheco.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are not. He's been practicing for 10 days, 10, 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to use him.
No, I agree.
D-Hop over Brian Thomas. Honestly, I like Brian Thomas this week.
With Trevor Lawrence coming back, I think
Yeah.
Brian Thomas is a good plug and play for sure.
I agree. Jennings or Coleman?
You got to see what you have with Keon Coleman. And he's coming off of an injury. He's great when he's good and he's healthy. The snow scares me. Can't you get someone other than someone playing in the snow in that game?
Yeah. Stroud or Darnold?
Oof.
Stroud
against Jacksonville, yeah.
Darnold or Purdy?
Darnold. No snow, no wind.
Yeah, inside Arizona. Pat Freiermuth or Noah Gray?
Freiermuth or Noah Gray.
Wow. I'm going to very hesitantly say Freiermuth against a weak Bengals defense.
Yeah. I agree.
hesitantly because Freiermuth has been
agree.
a huge disappointment this year.
And I'm higher on Pittsburgh this week. I think Pittsburgh is they're coming off of a loss, and they're going to want to smell the blood and beat the divisional team out.
Keno, listen, you cannot have Jonnu Smith on your bench, bud. He's right. He's tight end 3 right now. You got to start him. The Keenan Allen thing, I don't really, and same thing with Rico Dowdle. Dowdle is probably a good play going forward, but Jonnu Smith is an automatic start for me at tight end right
Agreed.
now. I had Taysom Hill starting. Well, then you probably made the right move because Taysom Hill will probably go for 40 this week. Let's jump back to a couple games, and then we will revisit you guys in TikTok. Did we do Cardinals-Vikings yet?
No.
Arizona is heading to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Minnesota 3.5-point favorite, over under 44.5. Keep your fantasy questions coming. We'd love to chat with you guys about them. I am going to go with the Cardinals here. I think the Cardinals not only cover but win this game. The over-under of 44.5. I'm going to hesitantly take an under here. I like Maserati Marv this week. I do. I would parlay Marvin Harrison Jr. and Justin Jefferson to score together. In passing props, I think Kyler Murray is going to go over that 223.5. I would be hesitant about James Conner, but you got to play him. And I think Arizona gets a win here.
Yeah, I like I disagree. I like the Vikings in this one. The NFC North's just hot, and everyone's risen to the occasion, and they watch the two teams that they're in between win this past week, and they know that next week they can gain some ground on at least one of them. So I think the Vikings are going to win. I like the over in this one. I think we're going to see some offense. Give me Justin Jefferson anytime. I think he's going to shred those Cardinals corners. I think that he's due. Justin Jefferson's due for popping off. Real quick, Bruce, can you pick it real quick because I want to go to the TikTok.
I'm going to go with the Vikings and the over.
Knicks or Kyler Murray? Who do the Broncos?
Murray.
Who do the Broncos play?
They have a good matchup. Broncos are playing Browns.
Yeah, Kyler Murray in that one.
Kyler Murray, but you can't go wrong either way. I think
Yeah.
they're both going to have nice weeks.
Flex, Myers, D-Hop, or B-Rob. Is that Brian Robinson or Bijan Robinson? That's not an easy one. Honestly, either way, I like one of the B-Robs, whoever it is, over those two guys.
Pacheco or Pollard? Pacheco or Najee?
Pacheco.
I
That's the
agree.
Raiders' defense.
Should I play Addison over Jennings or Coleman? Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
I would.
There's your non-snow player. And Jordan Addison's been hot, and you have to keep an eye on Breece Hall's health because he showed up on the injury report.
I would. If Brees plays, I'd play him.
Yeah.
No, maybe not.
Yeah, check the report real quick. We'll revisit that one.
Yeah, we'll come back to you.
We'll revisit
come
that
back.
one.
Are you feeling Stafford or Knicks this week?
Stafford.
Really?
Yeah, I like all the Rams this week.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God, against the Saints, yeah. Yes, I'm going to co-sign that. I'll go Stafford this week over Bo Nix. Flex, Myers, D-Hop. Oh, you did that one already, didn't you?
Yeah.
Herbert or Stroud?
Herbert against the Falcons.
I agree. Co-sign that. Bo Nix or Mahomes? Mahomes against the Raiders.
Yeah, Mahomes.
Got to. Pacheco or Khalil Shakir at the flex?
Khalil Shakir.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They're going to throw a lot of screen passes to him in the
think so,
snow.
too. Would you play DeAndre Hopkins or Devontae Adams instead of Kenneth Walker?
No.
Neither would I. Stick with your running backs. Watch Brees. Because if Brees doesn't play, then you're going to have to shove Devontae Adams in there. Because D-Hop will have already played.
You have Kenneth Walker. You're starting him.
Yeah. McConkey, Devontae Adams, or Juwan Jennings?
Conkey. It's not even close.
I agree. Lad McConkey's wide receiver 1 right now.
Yeah, he's a league winner. If you have him, you're starting him.
DeAndre Hopkins, Xavier Legette. He's leaning Legette.
Is it just between the two of them?
Yeah.
Legette.
Really?
Yeah, I like Legette. I'm suddenly high on Panthers pass catchers the way Bryce Young's playing,
I agree.
and I think adding in Adam Thielen back into the offense, I think that only
Opening
helps.
things
Yeah.
up. Yeah, I agree. Shakir or Najee? Najee.
Probably Najee Harris, yeah.
Should I do Hill and Neighbors for Cup and Andrews? No, if you have Hill and Neighbors, I would just die on that taste.
Yeah, there's a lot of like non-sure things there.
Yeah. The Cup thing I don't love. Mark Andrews is inconsistent. Taysom Hill, you have to go into Taysom Hill knowing you're either gonna get a 5 or a 40. You're gonna get a 5 or a 40, and you'll be happy on the days you get a 40, and hope that the Giants can start getting Neighbors the ball again.
Let's pick some games.
All right, jumping back to the games. Tampa at Carolina. Tampa's a 5.5 point favorite. Over unders 46.
This game has potential to be fun too.
It does.
That's a good divisional game.
I'm gonna roll Tampa. I'm gonna roll the under, and I like Mike Evans anytime touchdown.
Yeah, Tampa. I actually like the over in this one. Give me K-Dot in anytime.
And honest to God, you could probably throw a Bucky Irving in on top of both of them.
Bucky Irving should have a huge week
I think
this
Bucky
week.
Irving has a huge game. Bruce?
Zolo, you took the over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Panthers and the over.
Fuck you, Bruce. Next up, we get the Rams heading to New Orleans to play the Saints. The Rams are a 2.5 point favorite. Over under is 49.5.
Give me the Rams. Give me the under in this one. And Kieran Williams anytime. I've been pushing Kieran Williams all week. It's going to be a big week for him.
Give me the Rams as well. I'm going to take the under. And I like Stafford over 259.5 yards. I think he's going to torch. I also like whatever Kyron's over is on yardage. And I have Cooper Kupp score a touchdown in this as well. Bruce?
I'm gonna take the Rams and the over.
In my opinion, we've got the game of the week here. Is this a 1 o'clock game? Hold on. No, it is not. It's 4:25. Philadelphia Eagles are heading to Baltimore to play the Ravens.
Actually, I'm changing that to under.
Baltimore's 3-point favorite. Over under is 50.
Yeah, I'll bite on this. It's Carl G's birthday. Why the hell would I pick against the Ravens this week? I still think the Eagles are fraud. And if your recipe is we're going to hand the ball off the entire time, this isn't a defense that you could pull this off against. So give me the Ravens to win. Give me the Ravens to cover. I like the over. I think defense is only going to be a rumor in this one because I do think the Ravens are going to expose the Eagles defense. I think this is going to be a big game for Lamar. You can always throw in, even though it didn't hit last week, you could always throw in the Derrick Henry anytime. Zay Flowers is the name that stands out. He's going to draw either an unhealthy Slay, who I don't know if he's playing because of the concussion. Cooper DeJean's been really good, and obviously Quinion Mitchell has been Rookie of the Year good. But Flowers has the speed to expose those guys in man coverage. So give me Zay Flowers anytime. I like him on his receptions over. I think this could be a good game for both of the tight ends, Andrews and Likely. I'm going to go with the Ravens, and I'm going to go with the over.
I'm going to go with the Ravens in the over as well. And I know 50 is quite a bit of points. I don't care. I'm taking the over. I'm going to parlay the Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown scores. The only 2 touchdowns that the Eagles will get will come from Barkley and Hurts. I like Zay Flowers as well. I love his receiving over. It's 56.5. I think he's going to go over that. And honestly, give me the Lamar over 222.
Morty Smith, shout out to Rick and Morty, is asking in the chat. We have 10 minutes on this one. Pacheco or Brian Robinson Jr. I think Brian Robinson's a little bit banged up, so I would go Pacheco. I think Pacheco is going to get a lot of play today.
Honest to God, I could see Pacheco going for 65 and a touchdown today.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. And then all we have left to do here is Sunday Night Football.
Let's do it.
God, that Monday night game is ugly.
It's Browns and what is it? Monday Night
Browns and Broncos.
Broncos.
Sunday Night Football, we've got the San Francisco 49ers heading up to Buffalo with 5 feet of snow to play the Bills. Buffalo, a 6.5 point favorite. Over under is 43.5. I'm going to take Buffalo on the under.
I think if the weather wasn't a factor, there's a very good chance I'd pick San Francisco in this one just because they need a win so bad. But I think the weather is going to factor into it.
I agree.
And there's only, I trust Josh Allen at home in the snow with the way their offense is structured a little bit more than I trust the Niners. Give me Buffalo to win. Give me the cover for Buffalo. And I also like the under in this one. And then touchdowns, I'm going to go with Josh Allen rushing touchdown.
Took the words out of my mouth. Josh Allen rushing, and I'm parlaying with a CMC anytime.
Boom.
We don't know who's playing quarterback in this game for the 49ers.
Purdy will play.
He is.
Yeah, he's been throwing all week.
Sweet Bruce. Can you wipe the goo off your mouth so you can pick this game?
Give me Buffalo in the under.
Wow, 3-way for Buffalo. A 3-way for. Oh, we got the Mahomes or Allen question from Jorge Loma for the 5th time today. Would you like to pick it?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. If you have Josh Allen, you're starting him. Yes, I know it is in the snow. Doesn't matter.
Snow is good for Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Gonna run the ball.
Josh Allen is a Clydesdale. He will be prancing through that snow, yeah, all the way into the end zone. And those are, should we do Monday? You want to just do Monday?
Let's do it.
We'll pick Monday and then probably no. There's no changing this up. Denver is hosting Cleveland. Denver's a 5.5-point favorite. Over under is 42.5. I'm taking Denver in the over.
Yeah, Browns Magic was cool a couple weeks ago, but I like Denver. They're hot. They know they have to keep pace in the AFC. They could further their lead with another Chargers loss. And honestly, if the Chiefs start losing games, and I think they're only 1 game back or 2 games back from the Chiefs, so give me the Broncos to win. Give me the Broncos to cover. Give me Bo Nix over 2 passing touchdowns.
Real quick, currently Bovada has Shadur Sanders as the first overall pick in the draft,
We had this conversation on Monday.
which the Giants currently hold.
There's so many, it's a really weak quarterback class. And on top of that, only 2 of the teams picking in the top 5. Right now, Jacksonville, I think, is number 1. The Raiders are up there. They're in the top 4. The Patriots are up there. They don't need a quarterback. So Jacksonville and the Patriots don't need a quarterback. It's the Raiders and the Giants that are probably competing. And yeah, Shadur Sanders has kind of emerged. It's really tricky because that's not a guy I would want to build a franchise around. That's a guy I would want to marinate for a year. And yeah, I mean, Shadur Sanders to the Giants is a fit to me. It makes sense to me.
Is Deion Sanders to the Giants a fit for you?
No, I think he should stay in college. I don't.
Not good at it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's gonna bite on that?
The 2 of them. I mean, it would have to be the Raiders or it would be the Giants. If the Raiders can lure Deion and then sign and draft Shadur, you don't have that answer right now though. We need to see where the chips fall. Raiders need a quarterback though, and Shadur somehow is. I mean, he's great and he's fun to watch, but I don't see pro world beater when I see him. You know what I'm saying?
You like Cam Ward better?
Cam Ward has higher upside, but he's more raw right now than Shadur. I thought Quinn Ewers or someone would emerge. No one's emerged.
Nobody's pulled away.
No one's emerged. Carson Beck. If you look at PFF's draft rankings for quarterbacks, yeah, 1 or 2 of them have first round grades, but they're pick 20. Even Shadur is lower. There's other team needs you can address. I could see one of these teams taking an aggressive stab at Sam Darnold, taking a stab at Daniel Jones, Justin Fields. I don't know about him, but.
Oh, hold on. Would you rather have Justin Fields or Daniel Jones? Come on. I know you hate Justin Fields, but
Daniel Jones has won a playoff game.
Oh, no.
Daniel Jones is if you put Daniel Jones with the right coach in the right system, he can manage an offense and bridge you to your next quarterback. Justin Fields cannot.
You know where I could see Daniel Jones playing quarterback next year?
Chicago. No, tell me.
Cleveland.
Yeah, maybe.
Cleveland.
Maybe.
Anyways, a couple more questions here. DeAndre Hopkins or Devonta Smith?
DeAndre Hopkins.
You really?
Yeah, I'm not picking any Jets.
Devonta
Sorry.
Smith. Eagle.
Oh, is he playing? Is Devontae Smith
I
playing?
believe he is.
Ravens secondary is weak, and I don't know. Yeah, okay. I could see Devontae Smith making sense.
I'm still going D-Hop against the Raiders.
Yeah, fair.
Knicks or Purdy? Knicks.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, handily.
against
Don't.
Cleveland.
Do not bite on anybody on the 49ers this week except for Christian McCaffrey. Don't bite. Do not bite.
Oh, and Kittle. You're
And
right.
Kittle.
You're
Kittle
right.
will probably get a touchdown. Yes, I agree with that. And Kittle. Let's double check YouTube. We're good there. Okay. Zolo, do you have anything else to add before we close out this Black Friday special and settle in for the Chiefs and Raiders? Couldn't we have got a better game today than the Chiefs and the Raiders?
on paper, it was a 9-win team versus a Super Bowl champion.
You know, I'm really upset that I missed out on your guys' Chiefs talk the other day because I was watching the snippets of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just delusional. His brain's leaking.
Any Chiefs fan that sees that and isn't worried, like we have Lions fans, we've won 10 games in a row. Our team looks good every week, except for maybe a half defensively yesterday. And if you're a Chiefs fan and you're seeing that product go into Carolina and not play well and barely win, and you're still like, yeah, well, we're still winning. That's not the point. The Eagles,
road to the Super Bowl goes through Arrowhead.
The Eagles a year ago were still winning. They were 10-1, just like you. And then they got derailed. Like there were problems when they started to play good teams. And then they choked the division to a team that shouldn't have won the division, and then they lost in the first round to Tampa. So if you're not seeing that and saying we have a problem, instead of saying, well, we're just going to get all these injured guys back, that's not how it works, because your offense, the only injured guy it's missing is Pacheco, and the run game hasn't been the problem. It's been your pass game. It's your quarterback. It's his receivers. Like, that's where the issue is offensively. And if you're telling me Chris Jones looks like Chris Jones, you're crazy. He does not look like Chris Jones.
Agreed. Until the last 2 minutes of every game where he decides to play. We're going to give away 2 tickets to the Green Bay game on Thursday Night Football.
Wow.
Though that giveaway
News
will be
to me.
That giveaway will be Wednesday. So it's going to be the night before. It's another subscriber giveaway. So we want to, if you haven't yet, subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching the show today on TikTok, go to our YouTube and subscribe. If you're local, we're going to give away 2 tickets to the Green Bay Thursday night game against the Lions here for next week. That'll be on Wednesday. Giveaway, whatever, will be announced on Instagram. But it's straight up. All of our YouTube subscribers are in it to win. We're going to pick one, and we're going to give away 2 tickets.
TikTok, too.
TikTok. 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 We're going to do a TikTok.
If you're on TikTok, you go to YouTube and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, you go to TikTok and you follow.
Correct, but
there you go.
The TikTok exclusive giveaway is going to be for Buffalo.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
It's going to be for Buffalo.
Also news to me.
So YouTube, go subscribe on YouTube.
Back-to-back games of the year at Ford Field, and you have a shot to win.
Go to YouTube, subscribe. All of our subscribers from day one, all of you will be entered to win the 2 tickets to go see the Packers-Lions next Thursday. We will announce the winner next Wednesday. And then after we get done with that, we will announce the Buffalo giveaway, which is going to be a TikTok exclusive.
Boom.
So, with that being said, Bruce, do you have anything to add? You've been awfully quiet today. You still hungover?
No, I'm just...
What are you doing tonight?
I don't know yet.
I heard you had big plans.
I really don't.
You had big plans for this evening. Show the people your mustache.
They've seen my mustache.
Show the people your mustache. I want them to see your face before we end. Look at that. Look at that cute little mustache. Did Christopher bring you that sweatshirt home from Columbia, or is that his?
No, my mother got me this for Christmas.
That's very nice. It's a nice blue. It really brings out the poo on your
Way to
lip.
support.
Anyways, Zolo, anything to add? Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Tip Balls Podcast. Enjoy Friday evening, afternoon football. If you are listening to us on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure to check us out on YouTube. Click subscribe, because if you subscribe to us on YouTube, you are automatically entered to win 2 tickets to the Green Bay game next Thursday at Ford Field. We're also live on TikTok now, so you guys can join us there. Hit the follow button so you get notified when we go live. And if you haven't yet, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at TipBalls, because that's where we announce all of our giveaways. So thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back Monday to see how wrong we were. We will see you then. Enjoy the weekend. Peace.